The faith is disturbing.
Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, geeks? Welcome to a brand new year. You're listening to the episode of Geeks Under Grace podcast 332. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo.
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
This week, we're geeking out about our favorite media of 2022 and most anticipated in 2023. So that's video games, movies, TV. We didn't throw an anime thing in there, but I don't think I actually watched an anime last year. So I know you guys have.
Yeah, we have.
Well, let's talk about anime in the TV section. So
There we go.
I consider it TV. I think it's fine. I think put them in the same bucket.
Yeah. I watched anime, I think the year before that. I think it was last time I watched Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah.
That'll be the New Year's resolution for me. I need to watch more anime this year.
My mom told me she wanted to watch anime the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, I got some for you." So,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
We have a lot of people at work that I try to explain to them. They're like, "Oh, anime's not for me." Like I didn't like Naruto. And I'm like, well, anime is not for anyone really.
I was explaining Spy X Family to one of my friends who's like never watched anime, but told her premise, and she's like, "I think I would enjoy that. That seems kind of fun." I'm like, "I think you would like it genuinely.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like an anime kind of thing. It's just a good show that happens to be anime."
Yeah, there's so much different anime.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, already off topic. That's how the podcast should be.
Yep.
We're gonna start with our video games. We're talking about the video games that we liked most last year, and then we'll talk about the most anticipated for this year. So this podcast is gonna be a little bit different than usual. We will continue our regularly scheduled program next week, where we talk about the news and stuff and what we're geeking out about. But we just wanted to kind of reflect and look to the future this week. So that said, LJ, you usually do the gaming news. What was your favorite video game 2026?
Okay. As y'all know, I have a problem, so I play many video games. But the one that stuck out to me the most is Multiverses.
Okay, wow.
Oh, let's go.
That one, I guess, to say a thing about it real quick, I was impressed. I was like, especially after playing something like Nickelodeon All-Stars, like, I was impressed with the polish and the work that had been done, and there was still more improvements to come. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect it to be like this good. And so I got on to where I was playing it. I played it for a good few months, and I still drop on and off occasionally, but I got into it way more. I thought it was just going to be one of those new online games. I was just going to like drop off of it and be like, okay, that was fun. But it wasn't. Like I stuck with it for a while and ran with it on my Twitch channel for a while, and people genuinely enjoyed watching me play it, and I was fairly decent at it, and so it was a really good time. Like it was definitely before the fall craziness of releases, and so it was just a really good time for that game to come out, and so I enjoyed it a lot.
Cool.
Yep, that's my most anticipated.
Shelley, what about you? What was your favorite game that you played?
So my favorite game that I played, it didn't come out in 2022, but definitely Persona 4 Golden, which technically I did start in 2021, but I only finished and I really did most of it in 2022, so I sort of consider it more a 2022 game for me than 2021, especially because that's kind of when I was like, kind of between jobs and things like that. It's kind of what I was able to pour a lot of time into, and it's just so fun. Like, it's hard to compare with Persona 5 Royal. Like, they're both such great games, but like I genuinely love Persona 4 Golden so much as well. That, like, right now I think I'm like, oh, I would put it above Royal, but it's like, I don't know if I actually really good. But they're just both so good. So it's like my most anticipated actually isn't Persona 3 Portable, but it definitely is like an honorable mention. Like, I am very excited to be able to play that, to sort of complete the trilogy, right? Complete it backwards, which is pretty funny. And that's coming pretty soon. But yeah, Persona 4 Golden, if you've played Persona 5 Royal and you liked it, definitely check out Persona 4 Golden. Get it on Steam or something, or on Xbox or on all these other systems that's going to be going on. Or on, I think even on Switch, I think it'll be on.
Yep,
so
it's coming to
get on your favorite platform. Yeah, get on your favorite platform and just check it out. The first dungeon, I would say the first two dungeons, are kind of are pretty hard. Like I even know some of my other friends who tried to play Persona 4 Golden, and the first and second dungeon were just a little too hard, and they kind of gave up. And the mechanics are a little bit different than Persona 5 Royal. It's just something you have to get used to, and you do get used to it. And once you do kind of push past those first two dungeons, the rest are really not as much of a problem. I don't know why they made the first two like so relatively hard for like what your level is.
Feels like you start to get with these games too. Like
exactly. Yeah. So that's what I would encourage to anyone out there who maybe has tried it. I'd recommend, try again. Try pushing through those first two dungeons. I know it's hard. It was hard for me as well. I really did have to spend a lot of time grinding. But you don't really have to do that for the rest of the game as nearly as much. And I don't think you'll regret it. I really, really like this game, and I'm really excited that more people are going to be able to play it now that it, again, is going on Game Pass and all of their systems. But yeah, just a fire game. So yeah, that's my favorite of 2022.
I feel like I have to say Cyberpunk 2077. I put
Do you have to?
much time into that game.
all of them.
I guess you're right.
But no, that game came into its own like this year, and not because of like not just because of the rising popularity. I guess. I mean that plays a part into it, but like it's at a playable point to where most people can enjoy it. Like there's a lot more people that have PS5s now. There's a lot more people that have Xboxes. Right.
It's true.
Like Series X's, so there's more people that are getting to play this game in peak performance. So it's like it's
it was interesting.
Too.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So Edge Runners came out, and then everyone started talking about it again. I think I had been waiting for it to go to the PS5, like upgraded version or whatever.
Oh yeah, the upgraded version did come out this year too, I think. So technically,
yes,
you're good.
Yeah. So I was waiting on that, and then I think it was on sale, and I saw the sale. It was like I have to get it since it's on sale, and the Edge Runners, like I hadn't even seen or really heard about that yet. But I got it around that time where everyone else was picking it up because of that show.
Yeah.
But I think, like, you consider that an action RPG, right? You're leveling up, upgrading.
Oh, definitely.
So I would say that's probably the genre that I'm finding that I like most, and that's something that I definitely realized through, I guess, Witcher I really enjoyed, and then this, and I was like, oh, I really like this kind of
CD Projekt Red. You really like CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, and which is crazy because I'd never played a game before Witcher 3, which would have been last year. But yeah, really, really enjoyed. Well, in Final Fantasy 15, I really enjoyed as well, which was Square Enix. But
Skyrim, I consider an action RPG as well. Like anything where it's like, I don't know. I guess some are more heavier on action than others. I guess in gameplay and stuff. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like
before that, I would have said like old school platformers, like 3D platformers, were my thing. And I still enjoy those, but yeah, I've come into the realization recently, the more that I've played them, that I really like these action RPGs. I like JRPGs as well, but I can never play a full one. I just don't have the intention.
Valhalla is definitely an action RPG as well.
Yep, and I put a lot of time into that as well. Mostly because I didn't really have anything else to play at that point. Right. Cyberpunk, I've been like I haven't played God of War Ragnarok, which I'm very excited about, because I didn't want to stop playing Cyberpunk. So.
Ragnarok is so good. I started it this week. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. But no, that game is the story's really good. It's really well written. It's well acted. And now that it's polished, I understand that it wasn't always like this, but I mean, it looks beautiful. Yeah. And the gameplay is really addicting. You want to level up so that you can get through the different things better. And there's some of the side quests are a little bit tedious, but there was a lot of it that it was the same thing, but it felt different because there were different reasons behind every time you were going in. I never did finish the Night City Police Department stuff, because that was very redundant. But the rest of it, you were going up against these Cybercyclists was one of the side quest things that you could find, and even though you were defeating each one, everyone was a little bit different. It kind of felt like a mini boss in a lot of ways. But no, game was cool. I'm excited for the DLC for that one. I don't usually buy DLCs these days.
Yeah. Idris Elba for the DLC.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. Hopefully it's polished. Hopefully they got it all cleaned up and figured out.
No kidding.
But that would have been my game of the year for me, at least, that I played the most of, at the very least.
Yeah.
So now we'll go into our most anticipated. There are a lot of good games and movies and all sorts of stuff coming out next year. 2023 is going to be a big year for geekery, I think. But LJ, we'll start with you again. What is the video game you're most likely looking forward to?
This was tough, man, because it wasn't until recently that it got revealed that Spider-Man 2 was going to come out later this year.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Tekken 8 because I think with the same reason I enjoyed Multiverses so much is that like I got in the ground floor on that game. Like most fighting games people play these days or get into these days, like especially like Tekken, like what I got into, like there's a lot of fighting games that have been around for quite a few years at this point. And so the fact that we're getting both like a new Tekken and a new Street Fighter this year is huge, especially for people that are fans of the genre or people who have always wanted to get into fighting games. Like Tekken 8 is, I mean, to me, I'm just like, yes, a new Tekken. Like, but like even Street Fighter, like that game it's supposed to be more accessible for people to get into. But Tekken 8 is just like having that experience already with the previous one and just kind of seeing how it changes or what they do to improve it. Especially in that it's going to be in the new Unreal Engine and it's going to look very pretty. I'm excited to jump in on the ground floor. Yeah, so
Both of your games, your last year and this year, are fighting games in some form.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah, that's funny. and see, like I've always had a love for fighting games, but like I feel like in the last few years, like in the last maybe I want to say 3 or 4 years, like the more I've watched Evo and just the more I follow like fighting game community stuff, like I like on my half of my like there's a good chunk of my TikTok feed that is just like fighting game like community, like
Heck yeah.
and just
We love it.
I follow more of them on YouTube now and like just watching them on TikTok and just seeing crazy clips of stuff and learning more about these games and learning about some of the more obscure ones that I still have yet to try too. Like it's become a thing of mine, and so I'm stoked that I feel like I found a thing.
Yeah, I love it.
You also
I
thought of
love
a
it.
genre
yeah.
the last few years.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. What about you, Shelley?
Even though there's a lot of games I'm excited about for next year, it's really just has to be Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I feel like it has to be. Like, I don't know. Like, I love every new Zelda release. I guess maybe I should rephrase that. I get excited for every new Zelda release. Okay, yes. This has always been a thing even before Breath of the Wild came out, but especially after Breath of the Wild. Just that first announcement of Tears of the Kingdom and like the trailers and like trying to figure out what the game's about. Even now, it's like hard to figure out like what the game's going to be about.
It's like, how do you follow up Breath of the Wild? Like,
yeah,
like how?
It looks like by doing the exact same thing again, but I'm okay with it.
Fine, exactly. Yeah, I think I'm fine with
That's
it. Honestly,
I mean, you build upon the thing that you did first and just make it even better. Like
that sounds like it's God of War Ragnarok's strong point.
Well, and that's that's why when I look at Spider-Man 2, I can't imagine like how better that game is going to be because it's it's a sequel. Like
yeah, and it was like the next Hades, I would think.
Ooh, yeah, that's
that's great.
Like, that Hades 2 is even going to be a thing. Like
I know.
Yeah, they've definitely.
Tears of the Kingdom is also my favorite, most anticipated game of the year too. Nice. Zelda's always been a big.
Exactly. It's like it's always been big, and so I've always been super looking forward to big Zelda releases. But I think this one's has even more excitement and expectation behind it because we already have that expectation of like Breath of the Wild was so good. So like, what are we gonna do now? Is it really just gonna be like that game and even better? Like we have so much. There's all this like weird stuff happening with the story, and like I'm just excited to see it all. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think I can add too much to Tears of the Kingdom. It just looks really good. It looks like more of the same.
We know so little, but we also know like what we can expect as well. I think.
Yeah, it reminds me of Ocarina of Time, and then Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
and a lot of people saw Twilight Princess and were like, "This is the same thing as Ocarina of Time," and I'm like, "That's why I like it."
Yeah, I'm like, that's what y'all want.
Yeah, I was like, it's a like almost better version of Ocarina of Time in a lot of ways. Some people would argue that, but So yeah, I'm stoked. All right. Well, from there we will get into the movies then. There were a lot of, I don't know. This year for movies is weird. I didn't have like big favorite. I feel like there wasn't much for me to choose from, but wasn't in the theater this year as much as I usually am. But Shelley usually do the movie news, so I'll start with you.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I also didn't really watch many movies this year, just like overall. And when I was thinking about favorite movies of the year, it's kind of hard to come up with a list. I guess the one exception is I did watch a lot of Halloween, like scary movies around Halloween time.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the exception for the year. It's like I didn't really watch many movies besides like, watching like American Psycho, Other Psycho, like Hocus Pocus, like all these like sort of Halloween, The Shining, and things like that. But I do think that my top movie of the year is probably The Batman. I really like that movie a lot. It's very, very good. And I remember when I was thinking about, again, just kind of reflecting about top movies of the year, what's my favorite? I kind of forgot that The Batman came out this year.
Early,
just because it was so much early, yeah. But it is just a really good movie, and I'm a really big fan of Robert Pattinson. I'm on the Pattinson train, baby. I don't even really know what more to say about it because we've talked about it a lot already on the podcast, just like throughout the year. But I just really like it, and I'm hoping. I think they're even making like a spin-off show with the Penguin stuff, which honestly kind of worries me. I'm just kind of like, I just kind of want them to leave it alone for once. Like maybe a direct sequel, sure, that's fine. But like I kind of just want them to leave it alone and not try to pull in a bunch of other things. Like
he's doing at this point. Like I'm just like,
oh, I don't either.
My wife and I were just talking about they're making a young Superman movie apparently. James Gunn is, and so Robert Pattinson's Batman isn't supposed to be a part of the DCU. But we were talking about how great it would be to have Robert Pattinson's like overly emo, like edgy Batman in like a normal DC movie, and just being like comedically dark the entire time.
And have Superman be this, Boy Scout kind of like,
like, it would just be like he is the perfect for if you're gonna have a younger Superman, anyways. And just be like, Superman's like, I fight for love and justice, and Batman being like, there is no love in Gotham, only justice.
Yeah. Anyway, the Batman's really good. That's my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah. Batman was extremely good. Emo. He's almost as emo as Darth Vader.
I love emo, so
same music and everything.
I'm happy about it. Yep.
Yeah, it was so
the music. Yeah.
The tone of that movie was as perfect as you possibly could get.
Oh, yeah. Cinematography is so good. Yeah, honestly.
Whole movie.
Yeah,
it's a good one. LJ, your favorite movie of the year?
My favorite movie of the year is Everything Everywhere All at Once. That title is a mouthful.
Yeah, I didn't see, but I heard it was good.
It is so weird and yet so fascinating at the same time. I had a really interesting experience watching the movie too, because I went at it was late. It was like 9:00 on like a weekend, maybe a Saturday or something. I just remember being like, you know what? I need to go see this movie because it's playing in this theater and I feel like nobody's going to care, because it was this weirdly specific movie. And sure enough, I was the only one in the theater watching that movie. So it was like I just had this whole movie in this big screen to myself, literally in one of the center seats, like just the single seat. Like I was just like, yeah, the whole experience was just like me and the movie. And I got myself immersed in it, and just, it's one of those movies I'm going like, what is going on the whole time? I'm just like, I have no idea, but I'm here for the ride. And so it's a good movie. It's definitely rated R, mature stuff in there, but it's good. It's yeah. I can't explain anymore because it's like you can't talk about that movie without spoiling anything. So I'm not saying anything.
No, for sure.
Yeah. So that's my favorite movie.
For me, Batman's a really good answer. I was trying to think of like what movie stood out the most, and maybe it's because it was just the most recent. But I want to say that it's Avatar 2, but I also feel like that's because the pool of movies that came out this year weren't that amazing. That's why I'm like, Look, Batman was great. I think of, like, because I'm such a Marvel fan, and all the Marvel movies were so meh.
Yep.
I wrote down 20 something movies I saw and liked this year, and there were still some that I really didn't like that I didn't list. So I'm like, there was a lot of movies, but you are right. There's just a lot of them that I'm like, okay, that was kind of good. That was kind of good.
Yeah, they're all just kind of like, all right. Like, I watched some movies, but
And there were weird things like, I guess I'll put into perspective, like an honorable mention for me would be like Prey came out this past year. You know, like
You're right.
other stuff. It was a stacked year for movies. Like, but you're right in that like there's not a lot of them that were like super blowout, amazing blockbusters.
yeah, like Prey was good, but when you put that
there was
up
a lot
against
of-
Avatar 2,
There was a lot of good ones, but not like a lot of amazing ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, if you were to put Avatar 2 up against, like, one of the Avengers movies, I probably would have had a harder time than, like, the Infinity War. I would have been like, that's a tough choice. But against Prey, I'm kind of like, Prey was good, but Avatar 2 was an Avatar movie.
Like, here, I made a top 10 list, and I realized that Sonic 2 didn't even make my top 5, which you would.
My wife mentioned Sonic 2. Sonic 2 was
Get
really
to,
fun.
I still haven't seen Sonic 2.
So good. But then, like,
Sonic 2 was wonderful.
it is. But then there's stuff like Top Gun Maverick, which is a really good movie, but it's also like it doesn't really do anything that special. It's just a really well done movie. So like I get that. Like when you say that there was like
Yeah, everything just kind of pales in comparison to the art and the beauty of the
yeah,
movie.
and it's like an Avatar 2, and I guess even the Batman to some degree, but like Avatar 2 is those movies are definitely like a cinematic event. Like so we really
absolutely.
we didn't have like a Dune this year, really, and the Avatar kind of was that, you know, like one of those just
Yeah,
big-
that makes sense.
Like, all those other movies I could probably see at home and be okay. Avatar and the Batman, super thankful that I watched the Batman in a theater and not on HBO.
I had the reverse feeling with Batman to where I actually enjoyed watching that at home more
Okay.
because I was able to, I felt like I could see it better just because like the weird
It's
like
so dark.
and how a movie screen is built like in a theater. It's just like I felt like I really didn't like, I don't know, just like watching on a 4K TV, everything was just so much more crisp and like,
Oh, yeah.
colorful and like, yeah. And so it's just watching it. Yeah. So, but I know what you mean with like Avatar. It's like, what is the comment where it's like, you find the biggest screen that you can watch us on. And
Mm-hmm.
it was, and I didn't even see it in 3D and I still really loved it. You
Yeah,
know?
I didn't watch in 3D either.
You know,
4D is a thing.
I watched in
But
3D.
lately.
Did you?
I did.
That's awesome.
It was. It was a lot.
3D
Feels
sounds
good,
cool.
but it was like
4D, I guess, is a thing that like we saw. We didn't go to a 4D showing, but they had 4D in Houston, Texas, and then I guess there's one relatively close to where I live. A friend of mine had seen Avatar in 4D, and I was like, "You're just getting water sprayed in your face the entire time." It blows like air at you from different ways when it like
Probably got like D-box seats or something that move or something.
yeah, that kind of stuff. I was like, that doesn't sound fun to have. He's like, you can turn them off. But I'm like, well, we're gonna turn it off. Then what's the point of
Yeah.
find it safer than
Why would you pay? Why would you pay for that if you're not going to use it?
But no, Avatar 2, story-wise, like I said, wasn't absolutely amazing by any means, but visually, is just so much better done than the CGI that we've seen as of late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not that MCU's gotten lazy. It's that they've been pushing their animators too hard and not
Yes,
giving them
they've been
time.
so
and
much.
It shows.
Yep.
And we're not doing, it's on the news show. It's on a news podcast this week, but there are talks about them kind of slowing down and backing up a little bit and trying to work on quality over quantity again. And I think that needs to happen. They need to kind of
It does.
stop making so much and trying to force so much out into the public and actually just take some time and let the animators do their jobs and everything.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Avatar 2 was pretty. It may not be the best movie in the world, but it was definitely fun to watch. And I think most value I've gotten out of a movie ticket in a long time.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into the TV. Well, anticipated, right?
Anticipated movies.
Anticipated movies. Yeah, I think about it for a second.
You can tell we don't switch things up very often. So
Yeah.
Well, lost. Like, what's happening?
Well, and I mess up those half
More
the time.
time.
we gotta grease the wheels a bit after 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It's true.
a bit of a vacation. So the anticipated movies, Shelley, we'll start with you again. What-
Yeah.
Excited for 2023.
There is no question. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The first Spider-Verse. If you were to just ask me straight up what my favorite movie was and I didn't have any time to think about it, I would say that movie.
Okay.
So good. So I'm very excited for the sequel. Very excited. I don't even know if I have more to say about it. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm excited for it.
I'd say
It is like, I don't care about the Marvel stuff. I don't think there's any Star Wars movies coming out next year.
I'd say you put that in the sequel camps that we're putting in Tears of the Kingdom. It's like we don't know a lot,
Yes.
but we know what we can expect.
It's
And we know
absolutely. I think you're right on the money. I think that's exactly it. It's like I love the first one so much that even though I don't know a ton about the second one, I'm already fully on board
Yeah.
for both
Yeah.
of those.
That's cool.
Yep.
What about you, LJ?
There's a lot of movies coming out, and honestly, I feel hesitant to say Marvel because it's like I don't want to Wakanda Forever was amazing. Like that was I enjoyed it a lot. But I just I know Quantumania is going to be really good, but it's just I don't know, just with everything that Marvel just has been doing, comic book movies as a whole, Marvel and DC, I'm kind of like I'm keeping my expectations low. So
Yeah.
I guess
Tempering it
the
a bit.
most LJ answer for this would be the next John Wick.
Yeah.
So it's like and even 3 wasn't the greatest, but it was still stupid fun. If anybody does want to get caught up on all the John Wick movies, they're all on HBO Max right now.
Nice.
So,
I think I've seen all of them.
Yeah, like you can literally watch all of them, and I think it's due in the next few months here. So it's like I'm going for a stupid, dumb popcorn action flick. And yeah, that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is going to be the best movie of the year, because it's not. But it's just what I look forward to. So
Cool.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, John Wick movies are fun. My hope with Quantumania is that it will be a turning point for Marvel, and I don't know why I think that, because it's going to be it's already been made, right? Like they're still working on it, but it's already like part of this last phase that's been kind of meh.
This is the next phase.
Is Quantumania the start of it?
Yeah, because Wakanda Forever was considered the end of Phase 4.
Okay. Well, then maybe there we go. Maybe I'm okay with ending.
But you're right, though. I mean, this needs to be the kickoff point for the next phase. Like, this needs...
Yeah, I think for me, this is a really deciding movie.
It's an important... it's probably the most important movie they have coming out, easily.
Yeah, outside of like an Avengers event or anything. It's like, this should tie some things together. It needs to tie some things together. We have the last phase really created a bunch of loose ends that we need to...
They need to
bring
tie
back
some things up.
Mm-hmm. And I think Quantumania could do that, but I also just hope that it's not just a big Spy Kids movie, which is kind of what it looks like in the trailers.
Yeah, the names, too, of, like...
Oh, boy.
It's the longest Ant-Man movie they've made so far, and
We're the thumb men.
Like,
Could you imagine?
I like the meme where it's just like, yeah, Marvel movies are just all Spy Kids 3 now.
Yeah, especially the trailer. I mean, it's pretty spot on. But I think for a lot of people, this movie is going to be a make it or break it of, am I still going to stick with Marvel or am I done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's for me. I'm pretty much a fanboy. I'm probably going to hold on for the rest of my life.
Me too.
But I know a lot of people, they said that it would be over after Endgame. And then they've been kind of like, they had Shang-Chi, and then after that, it was kind of like, oh, maybe they were right. They had a spot.
Kind of gave people hope for a minute, and then kind of like took the year
And then everyone was like, no, yeah, we're done. So we'll see. I'm not excited for the movie itself. I'm excited for the prospect of like...
And Jonathan Majors becoming a household name too, and King the Conqueror. Like, that's what I really want to have. Like, I really want that same effect we got with like Thanos. Like, but for... Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Creed movies, and I want to see this new one just because he like looks like he's really good at acting.
He is.
I don't know.
I just thought it was so funny how I remember watching. So I watched the second Avatar movie with my sister and my husband, and I remember like the a trailer for Creed came on, right? And Jonathan Majors shows up, and she's just, my sister is just like, I recognize him, I think, from somewhere. I'm like, yeah, I think he's King the Conqueror as well. And then almost not literally the next trailer, but just a couple trailers.
Man,
when I was Quantum Mania that it had it, I'm just like, yeah, see, it's him.
Yep.
It's gonna be his year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, thriving. I'm happy for him.
Yep.
Even if they're in villain roles.
Got a bit of controversy around it. Apparently, Sylvester Stallone doesn't love the Rambo sequel.
You mean
But-
the
Rambo 6 sequel. I don't know what you call it.
Gosh, that's right.
But he looks like such a. He makes me want to care about boxing.
yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting. I'm excited for him as well, for sure. Well, that is all of the movies. We'll get into TV now. Talk about the TV shows that we loved this year. I think that the easy answer for me is Andor, which is a show. I didn't thank you, Shelley, for talking about it over and over on a podcast. I was like, I need to watch this.
TV was so stacked this year that there were shows I deliberately missed because I was watching them. Like,
Yeah. I am so behind. I'm more behind now on TV than I have been in a long time. It's really caught up with me.
I think so too. I mean, for me as well. Yeah.
I think Marvel's kind of part of that, and I'm glad that Marvel wants to step back on making so many TV shows. I don't need a Disney Plus thing every one after the other with a week break in between. There are other things.
Guess what 2023 is gonna be?
All Disney. I know.
So
I'm hoping there's some stuff that I don't care.
when She-Hulk was out, also came Andor, also came Rings of Power, and there was other things. I'm just like, I'm watching She-Hulk right now. I can't keep up with
House of the
those.
Dragon.
Yeah, House of the Dragon came out too. Even before those, there was other great shows too.
Yeah. Andor is the best thing Star Wars has ever made, in my opinion. And that is including Star Wars movies, which some people may not agree with, but
I mean, that's not too out of pocket to say, I don't think, because a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie is Rogue One. And this is just Rogue One, the show, and is arguably even maybe slightly better than Rogue One. There's different mediums, right? The show versus the movie, but I think that's actually kind of a fair assessment.
Well, going back to Rogue One still, they were holding on to their ties of being a Star Wars thing in a lot of ways.
Right.
Music has that very Star Wars opera-ness to it. And Andor threw all of that away. They were like, we have blasters. There's some stormtroopers. And that's all you're getting.
You might see a TIE fighter pass once in a while.
But the music and the scenery and everything just felt very
disconnected.
Yeah. In the right ways. And then they were like, hey, we'll remind you that it's a whole universe out there. We don't need to stick to the same thing every time. Rogue One is good. I love Rogue One. I don't want to diss it, but I think that's where Andor kind of beats it. Is it completely disconnected itself. So that's mine. Shelley, yours?
Yeah. My favorite, I think, and again, I'm also very behind on shows, and there's been a lot of good ones. I loved Stranger Things. I loved Andor.
Stranger Things.
But I do think for me, I gotta go with Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 3. I think it's literally one of my favorite shows. Definitely favorite anime at the very least. Man, what a clever show. And the fact that they're able to go with this bit, kind of the premise of these two characters both wanting the other person to sort of confess their feelings first and kind of having a psychological war about it. Keeping up that bit for 3 seasons and then actually progressing the story as well and making you not just laugh but also cry and also just be happy and feel all these different feelings. It's such a wholesome show, but it's also wildly entertaining and funny and hilarious and clever. It's all those things. It's such a delight. It's such a delightful show. And I'm really excited for, I think they're I don't remember if they're doing season 4. I mean, I think they will eventually do season 4, but I'm trying to remember if that's going to be before or after. I think they're making a like movie OVA kind of thing. That's basically going to be like the next arc that was in the manga, but as a movie. I'm really sad about that. I didn't put it in my most anticipated movies, obviously, but like I'm very excited for that. Like I just want this show to keep going, and it's so good. Again, it does hit a lot of the same sort of like it's wholesome, but it's funny sort of feelings that you get with Spy X Family. So I know a lot of folks out there maybe have watched Spy X Family. If you like Spy X Family, I would recommend trying Kaguya-sama Loves War. It's very good. Or if you liked how absolutely ridiculous to the point where it's funny Death Note is, like if you laughed at Death Note like you did, like I did, this is also perfectly for you because it's basically that. Like it's just like those mental Olympics, but like to the extreme and meant to be played up for laughs. Whereas Death Note was meant to be serious. So, take a potato chip and eat it, you know. So, and there's JoJo references in it, which is kind of funny. But I loved that show, and I'm very excited for it to continue. And I do think the manga like fairly recently ended. And I'm hoping it's a popular enough show that's going to just kind of carry through and keep getting more seasons all the way up until the manga, or to catch up basically to the end of the manga. That's what I would like. And you know, it can happen. So, yep, that's my favorite show of 2022.
Nice.
Cool. And LJ?
My favorite show is Peacemaker.
Oh yeah.
Which was in 2022. Like I legitimately like thought it was like end of 2021, you know, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like it was a while ago.
Even with like Book of Boba Fett, like I think that like that was like the same period. Peacemaker I enjoyed because like yes, it was vulgar and very mature, and it was, you know, there was a lot that like sure they didn't need to. There's a lot of things they didn't need to do, but I think what I appreciated most about it was that it had heart. Like it wasn't just like, oh no, we're not making a Peacemaker show just for him to like just be a jerk to everybody and be this like really crappy like hero. Like there was genuine character growth like in so many directions, along with the, you know, along with the like gory and vulgar nonsense. So like for me, it's the fact that it was a show that had heart and it did have like a lesson to it. I'm like, okay, yes, this is awesome. Like, so, and honestly, it's probably one of the best shows DC has put out because of James Gunn. And like, I still don't know what the heck is going to go happen on DC, but I'm like, if we get more stuff to the quality of like the Suicide Squad and like Peacemaker, if we get stuff like that quality, yeah, like I'm on board for it. But I think they got some work to do. Like they got some stuff to sweep out of the way before we can get to where DC can be like good.
We should be getting announcements for a movie slate this year or this month.
Yeah. So I just think that Peacemaker was good. It's one of those shows like yes, like I don't recommend watching it if you don't want to watch that thing. Like obviously it is what it is, but it actually became a better show than I expected it to be. So yeah, and I was surprised that this was my show over Book of Boba Fett, which fell flat for a lot of people. So
oh yeah,
yep, definitely fell flat for me.
Yes, same.
Yeah, that's it though for me.
All right, we'll get into most anticipated then. And I'm torn on mine. I'm really excited for Last of Us 2 coming out, but I started talking about Andor, and the more that I thought about it, just even in this podcast, like I wrote down Last of Us 2, which comes out this week.
Last of Us 2?
Or not?
What do you mean Last of Us, the show?
Just Last of Us, HBO, the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
But Acolyte comes out for Star Wars. And if Acolyte is anything like Andor, then I'm like super on board. Everything that I've seen from Acolyte looks really good. So I think I'm gonna make that my anticipated. I gotta forget that those came out this year. So we're going with Acolyte. Hopefully it's more Andor and less Book of Boba.
Yeah.
And Last of Us 2 or Last of Us. I played Last of Us 2 most recently. Last one show looks good, but
So, did you hear about? I know we're not talking about news, but I loved what I heard about how they're not planning on making anything extra, like beyond like what's already there for the video games. So it sounds like season 1 is going to be game 1, and season 2 is going to be game 2. So, like, if a part 3 video game comes out and this show just ends up becoming like 3 seasons long, like I'm totally down with that. Like,
yeah,
if they keep it
be interesting.
nice and keep it, yeah. So I that made me anticipate Last of Us even more.
My thing is like, are you gonna wait 7 years before putting out the next season? I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know how far along part 3 is. So
Yeah,
if there is going to be a part 3.
I just think about how young Ellie is.
Oh,
I don't know how
yeah.
long the actress is, but
There was a time jump, obviously, and two.
yeah, and would need to be a time jump.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting. Maybe they'll just do House of the Dragon and completely switch actors on us. Shelley, what is your most anticipated TV show?
Well, I was also looking, trying to see what comes out in 2023, and I know you already mentioned Acolyte. It's just, there's a lot of Disney shows, like Star Wars and Marvel. I kind of feel a little bit grimy listing one of them as my most anticipated. But The Mandalorian is just has been so far consistently really good show.
Yep.
That I do think is going to be my most anticipated, like a season 3 for Mandalorian, which I think is coming out this year. But
Yeah.
I do feel a little bit grimy about it, because I'm just like, I don't like that they're giving us so much content, like so many shows, but it's like, at least this is another season for a show that has already been good, rather than like a brand new show that, who knows, right? I'm not sure if one's good better than. What did you
I
say?
think they said that like even Mandalorian season 3 is still later in the year too. So it's like it's not like they're just trying to pump that out either. It seems like they're doing
Right.
They're taking some time with this one, especially after they pumped out all that other stuff really fast too. So
Well, they kind of have to,
Exactly.
'cause he's been doing Last of Us.
yeah.
It's true. Oh man, yeah, Pedro Pascal's great. So I do think it's fun. I'm most anticipated. I think I'm at least finally, I think it took a while last year, but I finally got to the point where I was accepting that I definitely was just not going to watch every Disney show. I'm just going to watch the shows that I'm actually thinking I'm interested in, especially for the Marvel shows. And honestly, I don't even know if there's any Marvel shows I'm interested in, like maybe Echo, because she's cool. Maybe Loki season 2, I think, is also a thing, but I don't know. I'm just going to say Mandalorian. I'm behind a lot of shows, so it's like I'm not going to be missing out on shows if I don't watch many this year. So, yeah.
All right, and then LJ, most anticipated show.
Yeah. So mine is Invincible season 2.
Yeah, that's a good.
There
What?
were rumors that it was going to come out like at some point this month. And I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be this month because we still haven't heard a word. But I would love if, like, one week all of a sudden we got like a teaser or something, and just been like, "Hey, it's here." But I feel like even though it is like it's still gonna come out this year, even if it doesn't come out this month. But I love Invincible was so good. It was animation.
I'm very excited for it.
Everything about that show was like chef's kiss. Like,
Yes.
it's so good. So that's my most anticipated. There's not much else to say other than that. Like, I'm pumped for it.
Cool.
Woohoo.
All right. Well, it seems like we have a really exciting year to come. I'm excited. Excited for movies, video games, TV. I'm excited for Geeks Under Grace. It's got some cool things happening very soon. It's so many because it's not soon for anyone else, but it's coming up too quickly for me. So, stay tuned to Geeks Under Grace. Hopefully we got some cool stuff cooking up for you. Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
LJ?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at LJ the Paladin.
Cool. And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour, and then at twitch.tv/Geeks and Grace on Wednesdays. Probably not playing Chained Echoes, the RPG that I played last week, because apparently it just gets darker from where I am, and it's already pretty edgy. So I don't know what I'm going to play yet. We'll figure it out. But one thing that I will say before we get on the podcast, I do think that the last probably 20 minutes of the Twitch stream Wednesday night, so that would be at like 9:40 Central Time. I'm going to put up the prayer wall we have. You can go to geeksundergrace.com/prayer if you want to put a prayer on that prayer wall. And we're going to do a little bit of praying. I think that'll be kind of cool. Yeah. Don't worry. You don't you get to choose whether or not you want your prayers on the prayer wall. It's public for everyone to see that logs in. So if you're like, are you just airing people's dirty laundry out? No. People have the choice to post those prayers. And if you want to post a prayer privately just to the team, you can do that. You can do that too. And that will not appear on the prayer wall for the Twitch streams and things like that. But, yeah, if you want to right now, you could log into geekstories.com/prayer and then read that prayer wall yourself on your own time. So, cool. Yeah, we'll end the podcast there. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.